Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl, Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. I hope you guys are doing well. Everything is going well with you guys. I mean, a lot of kids are basically getting their finals or they are getting themselves ready to move on. So, congratulations to the multiple classes of 2025 as they're moving on. And here's my thing. You could be moving on too. All right. So this is why I'm here to kind of help break all these concepts down so you'll be able to be successful. Okay. Be successful in just understanding the concepts, maybe even just passing the test to actually move to an area that you really want to do. But yet this math test or this math course keeps getting in the way. So I'm here to help you out to reach your goals and your potential of greatness. So what we're going to do today, we're going to continue on the lines of slope, but we're going to take it a step closer. So we're going to be looking at the equation when the form is in standard form. So standard form is your ax plus by equals c, and that's when a and b does not equal 0, all right? So one of the ways that we're going to find it is we're going to look at what's called the x and the y intercepts. So the x-intercepts, that means your y value is equal to 0, and the y-intercept is when your x value is equal to 0. And then I just wanted to definitely review with slope. Remember, some people have been messaging me and it says, no, it's supposed to be y2 minus y1. Well, guess what? If you do it the other way, you're going to get the same blessed answer. So guess what? There is multiple ways of getting the same answer, and you just have to embrace that. Okay? I know. We've been brainwashed for so long, so it takes some time. Okay? Kathy, what we got? You got a 90 on your final? Celebrations to Kathy. Good job, Kathy. You're like the second person today that has given me some fabulous news. Now, here's my thing. This is all. Oh, Kathy, you basically did it yourself, my girl. I'm just here just to kind of basically minimize all the loud noises and just help you to focus a little bit. But you did the work. You definitely did the work. Good job. Hey, Danny, how are you? Michael, is awesome to see you. Candy Girl, thank you for giving some love. This is what we do. Yes, bundles of blessings. Another brother, welcome. Welcome in. All right. So what we are going to do for tonight or today, we're going to do like a quick little review, okay, before we jump into the standard form. So I want us to find the equation. Now, anytime anyone says find the equation of the line, we all should be thinking that famous little verse, which is called y equals, sorry, I'm drawing on my tape here, y equals mx plus b. Okay, y equals mx plus b. So that means we need two things. One of the things is your slope. The other thing is your y-intercept. So where do we start? We always start on the y-intercept. So where is this blue line? If you can tell the colors. It's a little dark in here. But this line right here is an actual blue line. Where is it crossing the y-axis? Where is this blue line crossing the y-axis? He should have been a math major instead of engineering. Oh my goodness. Tornado Chaser, thank you. 00. Bundles of Blessing, The Origin. Jonah 0. Christina 00. AMD at 0. Good. So it's crossing right here at 0. So my y-intercept is actually going to be a 0. All right. We're going to talk about this in a moment. I just want to fill stuff in before I simplify. So now we need to figure out our slope. As you could probably see, they're giving us 2 points. Okay, so if they didn't give us points, we want to see where it's intersecting. And it looks like it's intersecting here, and it looks like it's intersecting here, and we know it's intersecting right here at the origin. But if we want to go from, say, this blue point to this blue point, we can think of it as our slope. So it doesn't matter if I start at this lowest one or the highest one. You're going to get the same answer. So if I start low to go high, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I went up 5 units. Now I'm going to go to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And since I went to the left 5 units, that means that's going to be negative, right? So going up is going to be positive. Going to the left is going to be negative. And remember, our slope is the change of y's over the change of my x's. So I went up 5, so that gives me a 5. And I went over to the left 5, so that gives me a negative 5. And we can simplify this a little bit more. So if I simplify this more, positive 5 divided by negative 5, that gives me a negative 1x. Or I can just simply say negative x, because the 1 is understood to be there. But then it has this plus 0. 0 is a placeholder, okay? If there is nothing here, you could put the plus 0. It's not going to hurt you. You'll be okay. But if you don't see anything here, it's assumed that that's going to be 0. That means you're going to start at the origin. Okay? Anytime you're about to do any kind of plotting of points, you always start at the origin. And if you're wondering what the origin is, for some people that may be asking that question in their mind, you basically have 2 number lines. 2 number lines that's intersecting at their zeros. That's your axes. That's it. That's all it is. Okay? All right, so. Yeah. All right. So this is my equation. Oops, there's my tape. Didn't know that tape was going to be that far up. Here we go. All right, so now let's slide over. Slide some oil to me. If you know, you know. All right. So now they're giving us, again, 2 points. And we still need to find that y equals mx plus b. So, as best as you can at this point, what is my y-intercept? Where am I starting? Yes, Jenny, good one. Oh, go ahead. How's day, Maddie? How you doing? Demand, look at you. Look at everyone celebrating. 95, let's do it. Demand got a 95 in algebra. Let's go, let's go. Little bit of celebration. We could pause for a second. Look at you. Look at that. See, that's God right there. And your determination and drive, Demand. Look, I love and appreciate you guys think that I have anything to do with this. But I appreciate you. Okay. Mike, do not be confused. It's okay. We're going to walk through it. Just make sure you ask questions. I'm sorry. I'm trying to catch up with everything. For my classes next year, and you're a sophomore. Okay, go ahead, ho. Watch it. Hold on. That is her name. Let me just go ahead, Maddie. I think I better just do that before we shut everything down. Okay. And your money, she's legit. I tried to be legit. Okay, we got 0404040404. Hey, Cookie, 04. Okay, And we got that with that. Celebrations. Yes. That's it, guys. Good job. All right. All right, Mason, you love hiking? Good job. Because you're going to need this. You're going to need this when you go hiking. You got to check out the gradient. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means this point here is at 0, positive 4. Now, that's going to be our y-intercept. That's our b. So I can substitute that b for the y value of that point, which is going to be a positive 4. So now we need to figure out our slope. So we could find the ordered pair of this point. Okay, there's multiple ways. So we have at negative 2, negative 2 comma negative 2. So we could do the change of y over change of x, do it algebraically, or we could do it graphically. So from this point, where's my orange? Having complications. Okay, we can go from this point to this point. So I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So since I'm going up 6, and then I'm going over 1, 2, and I'm going 2 to the right. So if I'm going to the right, that means it's going to be a positive 2. So now if we're trying to get our change of y over change of x's, my y's, since I went up, it was a positive 6. And then I ran to the right, so that's a positive 2. So now all we have to do is just clean this up. 6 divided by 2 will give us our 3. So it'd be 3x. And we bring down our plus 4. So that would be the equation of this line. Okay. Let me go right here. Good. Why are you done with me? Life was good. Let me guess. Was it Salima? Let me guess, you're probably in calculus right now. All right. Analogies. All right. So the y-intercept is so easy. I know, Dallas. I know. All right. So give this one a try. Okay. Tell me what the equation of the line is. And we'll compare answers. So I'm going to give you literally 35 seconds. Okay, 35 seconds to tell me what my equation of the line is. No, was she doing the same thing, Michael? Great minds think alike. All right, Cookie, try to put it all together. What is my equation? What is my equation? Oh, that's funny. Well, plus at this time of year, a lot of people are getting ready for their finals. We can go ahead and do that. If it's too boring, I mean, I'll miss you, but I totally understand if you don't want to watch anymore. I totally get it. All right, go ahead. Let me see your answers. Oh, I know. I know. But I don't like to waste anybody's time and everything because, you know, everyone's time is very valuable. Next to your name, your time is valuable as well. Okay? Even although your parents named you, but what you did with that name and how you represent it, that was all you. Okay. Need more time? Okay, Candy Girl. Okay. Hello, Sir Eagle. How are you? Thank you for the heart. Appreciate it. Checking in. Because remember, all you need is two things. And Dukes, thanks for the follow. And thanks for sharing the live. Juno? Okay, if you think you have an answer, and remember, question marks are answers too. Okay, so if you're not too sure, go ahead and put a question mark in. All right, you're not going to be chastised, you're not going to be judged. We have plenty other people in this world to do that for us. So we don't need one more person, because I know we might all be on the edge, and that one more person will just set you off. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. All right. Hey, Reed, how are you? All right, Carlos, thank you so much for your honesty. I appreciate it. Okay, we're going to break it on down. All right, Candy Girl. No, not infinitely. No. Because once you see it, you're going to be like, oh, I knew that. You're just probably second guessing. It's okay. Okay? It's okay. All right. Anyone want to give it a shot before I show step by step? Okay. All right. So Cookie's saying 1/2 x plus 2. Okay. KOK is saying 2. Cat is giving me 1/2 x plus 2. It's been a minute since you've taken math. I totally understand. All right. But thank you for sharing. I appreciate this. Okay. All right. You did already. It's okay. It's 2. Okay. What was the Q? Or what was the question? Question was to give me the equation for this line. This nicely blue line. What would be the equation of that? Okay. Yes, we do have rise over run. There you go, Hiccup. Hiccup world. You giving it to me? I do not see it. Try to put it in again, because I don't see it. Okay, so you're saying 2 negative 4. Okay, thank you. 2x minus 4, 2x minus 4. All right. Now, let's see what's going on. Okay, so first things first. We need, I know, everyone's like, I'm the realist. I know, everyone's doing it. All right, so first I need my starting point, my y-intercept. So where is this line crossing the y-axis? It's crossing right here. So if this is the origin, that's -1, -2, -3, -4. So this point is 0, -4. All right. So my y-intercept, my b, is simply a -4. So now I need to find my slope. Okay, so far so good? Right. So now to find your slope graphically, you just need to start at one point and then you do a movement to get to the next point. So we're going to rise. So if I'm starting at this point, I rise up 1, 2. So that means I went up 2 units. Then from here, go over 1 unit. So I went over to the right. So that will make it a +1. So if my rise is 2, and my run is 1, this can be either left as such, especially if you're graphing, but we can clean it up a little bit because 2 divided by 1 gives me 2. So we have 2x minus 4. Okay, so for those that said, it has to be your rise over your run. Okay, so it's not going to be 1/2. It's actually going to be 2. Plus 2 divided by 1 gives me 2. All right, good. No, Okay. It's like, it's okay, Kay. Just relax. Take a breather. Okay, you just did it in school today? Awesome. Good. Okay, how you feeling, Reed? Feeling okay? All right. Tornado Chaser saying nice. Okay. Anyone else? All right. So it's as simple as that. And we don't have to get too technical. But what if, and this always happens, what if they don't give us a graph and we can't find it graphically? But let's say that they gave us ordered pairs, or they gave us an equation. We'll hold on for the ordered pairs for a second. They gave us an equation. So let's say they gave us 3x plus 4y is equal to 24. And you're like, boo. Because now it's not in that slope-intercept form. Because slope-intercept form, let me see if I can shrink it. Well, I can use this one up here. Slope-intercept form, your equation is equal to y. This time, we have both variables on one side of the equal sign. This is what's called standard form. Okay? Standard form is you have your ax plus your by equals your c. Now, you can do this one of two ways, because anytime they ask for the equation of the line, we have to put it into this y equals. All right? But what we could do is we can solve this bottom equation right here for y. So when we do this, we need to think of the inverses. So we want to isolate our 4y. Okay? We want to keep 4y right where it is. But what needs to go to the other side? Okay? What needs to go to the other side of the equal sign in order for 4y to stay where it is? Okay, Callie is saying subtract the 3x. Candy Girl says the 2x, well, she meant the 3x. Gotcha, she's right back there. We got 3x, subtract 3x, minus the 3x. Callie, minus the 3x. Read 3x, yes. So we're going to subtract that 3x on both sides. I'm not going to put it directly under the 24 because 24 and minus 3x, they're not like terms. Okay, so that's why it's kind of off to the side over here. But over here, 3x minus 3x, that gives me 0. And I don't need a 0 as a placeholder because I still have this 4y on the same side of the equal sign. So I can just drop down the 4y and be perfectly fine. Now, to keep it in that slope-intercept form, I could have it as 24 minus 3x. Okay? Or, I'm going to put or a little bit further down. At this point, I could have 4y equals negative 3x plus 24. Okay, I'm going to show you both ways. Okay. Nope, this is not systems of equation. We're just dealing with one equation. Okay, I'm showing it in two different ways. Okay, you like the last one better? Yes, because this will get you into that format. But this one feels really natural because you're just rewriting from left to right. So now I want to get y by itself. What do I need to do now in order to get y by itself? Okay. Divide everything by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4. Good. Divide by 4. Divide everything. I like that, dark magician. Divide everything by 4. Okay. So a lot of people will do divide by 4 here, and they will do a long line and divide by 4. But this is what happens. They divide the first term by 4, but they forgot about the second. So this is why I like to do individual. Here's 4, here's 4, okay? Do the same thing down here. Divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4. If you get it by just doing divide by 4 one time, that's fine. I just want to make sure that you see where everything's coming from. So now 4 divided by 4 gives me 1, in this case 1y. 24 divided by 4, that gives us our 6. And then we have a negative 3 divided by 4, that gives us negative 3/4. Here's the thing, don't change it to negative 0.75. This is your slope. Slope is supposed to be a fraction. Because if you have to graph this, which right now this problem we're not going to, but we are a little bit later. But when you're trying to graph it, it's easier for you to figure out the slope when it's a fraction than when it's a decimal. Okay? I know there's some teachers that are like, I don't want to see fractions, I want to see decimals. Or I don't want to see improper fractions, I want to see decimals. Yeah, it gets all kinds of cray-cray. It's okay. All right? Because anything that's the coefficient of your x, regardless if it's there or here, the coefficient that's in front of your x is always going to be your slope. And the number that doesn't have an x or y, that's called your constant. That is your y-intercept. Okay? So if we were to do a rough, and I do mean rough, sketch of this. Yeah, I can do it right there. So we have here and here. Since we're starting with 6, we're going to come down a bit. Here and here. So I'm going to use my dots to evenly space. And I like to make my 5s a little bit longer. So the very first point, where are we going to start? Where would we start? Hello, God is good. How are you? All right, bundles of blessings saying 6. Tornado Chaser saying at 0.6. Danny saying -3. American saying 4. Michael is saying at 6, plot the y-intercept. What is the y-intercept, my king? Okay, Poopy is going to be at 0.6. Brian, 6. There you go. You lied. Okay, there we go. 6. Fortune, 6. It's just Justin. There we go at 6. Froggy at 6. Danny at 6. Yes. So we're always starting with that constant. That's our y-intercept. So since I can see my 5, that means 6 is going to be right smack here. And then from this point, I'm looking at my slope. So if I'm starting here, I have a negative 3/4. I have a habit of making my numerator negative. Okay, so if I wanted to, I can go down 1, 2, 3, and then go over 1, 2, 3, 4. So both the 3 and the 4 is not negative. Only the 3 is negative. Okay, if I wanted to make the 4 negative, that means I would have had to go up 3, which I have to make my graph a lot longer. I would have had to go up 3, but go to the left 4. Okay, so if I went up 1, 2, 3, I will go over 1, 2, 3, 4. And that point will be right here. Notice it's on the same line. And when you draw your lines, make sure you draw nice and long. Okay. Yep. Okay. Do we do parabolas? Can we do parabolas? Not tonight. Everything's all linear because I did some quadratic stuff about a couple weeks ago. Now, here's the thing. If you want, since we're small little commercial, we can do this. So most of my lives, if not, well, since February the 5th, when I started going live, all of my lives, the raw lives, are on my YouTube channel. So if you can go ahead and subscribe, it's a free subscription to my YouTube channel. It's Audrey Codner, that's my name, and ACG Math Tutoring. Okay, so it's a playlist that says TikTok replays. I know, I was really deep with the name. So if you go there, you can look at the parabolas, you can look at some of the transitional stuff, you can look at how to graph it, it's all there, okay? So you can take a look at that. I do not, Justin, calculus is not my thing, but if you are serious about calculus and you need some assistance, I got a guy. So just let me know and I'll pass that on, okay? Deep name, I know, right? So deep. When do you put a dot and not an arrow at the end of the line? Well, if the dot that you're referring to is if you're dealing with the line segment and you definitely want to represent those endpoints, that's not going to be an equation line. Equation line is always going to be continuous from one direction to the other. But if they're talking about a segment, that's when you're going to put dots on the ends. Yeah. Okay. Let's say class this fall. I need some tutoring. Okay. Yeah, I can definitely reach out to me. If anything, DM me and I'll hook you up with my guy. Okay? No problem. All right. So now let's look at some more. Let's see what else can we get ourselves into. Okay, we can try this one. So next example. So we have 3x plus 8y is equal to negative 12. Okay. So we want to change it from standard form to that slope-intercept form, aka solve for y. All right. What is it to be an inequality? So an inequality, you're either doing less than or greater than a number, and you're not including that number, or you're doing greater than or less than or equal to. So I'm not sure what exactly you need, Tornado. Yeah, your rise. Can my rise and run be negative? They can, but it will give you a positive in the end. Okay, because a negative divided by a negative gives me a positive. All right. All right, thank you for the follows and the sharing of the lives. Yeah, so if you know of anyone that's thinking about getting their GED or their ASVAB or ACCUPLACER, if they're thinking about going to community college, tell them about this live. I know soon I am going to be starting. I'm thinking about the week of June the 8th. I'm going to do a live summer program, which I'm starting from the very beginning, like how to add, subtract, multiply, divide, decimals, fractions, and slowly go into solving one-step, two-step, multi-step equations. Like all the foundational pieces, including and up to all of this linear stuff, because these are the things, especially the linear, is what a lot of, like, say, the GEDs or any of those high school equivalent exams, those are the 4-point questions. Those are the MOTSI ones, right? So they're the ones that's got a lot of weight to it. If you skip those and you do okay with everything else, you're not going to pass the test. So like if you do really decent with the arithmetic, and you actually do very well, like a couple problems with the equation line, finding slope, knowing the difference between parallel and perpendicular lines, maybe even a system of equation. If you can do like about 4 or 5 of those and do well with those, you pass the test, okay? Because those that failed, those are the ones that actually skipped the algebra portion. You can ask each and every person, and they're like, oh, did you see the algebra thing? Yeah, I skipped that. Or, oh, did you do the volume of a cylinder? Yeah, I didn't know what that was. I skipped that either. Those are 4-point questions. You do not want to skip too many of those, okay? I know there's some that will be a little more technical, but that's what we're doing. All right. So you're saying JoJo's thinking it's -4 and 3. All right. Be inequality to make the graph stop at points. So wouldn't it be an inequality to make a stop at points? Sometimes it's not going to be stopping at points. Okay? Remember, some of it, not to be weird, because I know everybody does, like, oh, look, it's a circle. But some of them are, you're going to have an open circle. Some of them you're going to have a closed dot. So if anything, what I will do for tomorrow nights, I will do inequalities tomorrow night. Okay, just to clear that up. Would that be helpful? All right. Okay. So let's get to solving. Sure? All right. So let's get to solving. We want to solve this for y. Right now, you are y, 8 is your boo, and then here comes that one group that you never want to go out to dinner with, but your boo is always like, they're our friends, we need to hang out with them, but you just think that he's a douchebag. But still, you go out to dinner, right? So right now, you just want to be alone with you and your boo. So that means we need to eliminate this couple, that 3x. And how we do that, we do the opposite. Since it's a positive 3x, we're going to do a negative 3x. And whatever you do on one side of the equal sign, you have to do on the other side of the equal sign. Okay? So now they're eliminated out your life. You're like, yes. Can you tell? Like, I've been in situations like that so many times. We should go out to dinner with my cousin. No, why? So now, we don't really care what happens on the other side because they're out of our lives, making havoc. But since a lot of people liked it this way, I'll do it. So we got our negative 3x, and our 12 was negative, so that comes on down. They're not like terms. This has an x, this one doesn't. Okay, so they're not like terms. So you're going to bring them down. That's about it. But now, your boo is driving you crazy. I don't know what it is about this week or last week or whatever. But now you need to divide that person out of your life. See, everyone keeps saying, when do you use math in real life? Look, we're using it. So 8 divided by 8 gives me 1. In this case, 1y. Now we have negative 3x over 8. That is our slope, so we're going to leave it as a fraction. Then we have 12 eighths. But 12 eighths, divorce them. 12 eighths can be reduced, okay? It can be reduced, or you can use it as a decimal. The reason why I say this, you have an either or type of thing, is because if I'm graphing, it's really hard for me to graph what 12 eighths is, okay? And even though you're like, well, Audrey, we can just like say 1 and like 1/2. I got you. But sometimes a lot of people don't know what 1 and 1/2 is. So what you could do is simply divide these two, which will give you your 1.5, or you can have it as a mixed number. And not too many people have it as a mixed number, to be honest with you. Or I'm going to write the word or, you can simplify it. Oop, forgot the x right up here. Okay. So 12 and 8, they both have 4 in common. So that means we have 3 halves. Okay. So either one of these will be satisfactory. Okay. If I am graphing, I want my y-intercept as a decimal. For me, it's easier. If you want to have it changed to 1 and 1/2, you can do that as well. Okay? All right. Gotcha, culture. Thank you. Yes. There we go. Forgot my x. Thank you. And the x. Bring down the x. Sure about the 1.5. Right. Now, see, here's my thing. Even when you get a decimal, see, a lot of people freak out. They're like, I got a decimal. That means I did something wrong. That was something that was learned early on. So that's not your fault. Believe it or not, your fear of fractions and decimal came early on when you were a kid. Because when you did things with just whole numbers. You did it with zeros, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You hardly ever did anything with fractions unless you had a really good teacher that was like, you know what? Let's not fear the edge of fractions. Let's look at rulers. Let's do some measuring, all that stuff. Unless you had that, you have a fear of fractions because of how you learned it early on. So now we just have to break that cycle and not be fearful of fractions or decimals, okay? Always double check, okay? It does get confusing. Now you can't leave. I got you, 5th chapter. I got you. It's like, I know, it's addicting. It's my voice. Everyone's like, I've been trying to leave for over an hour now. Okay, so let's try another one. All right, so let's see. Negative 5x. You're like, oh goodness. It's all right. Breathe. Plus 3y is equal to negative 30. Okay. I know. It's like, wait, there's negatives. They're like, it's all right. Breathe. All right. Okay. So now, let's take a look. we want to get y by itself. I always like to use the club. Okay, it's you and your boo. You're the y, your boo is the 3. Here comes negative 5x. That couple that you just don't want to deal with. So now you need to get them out. So you ever hear of kill them with kindness? Since it's a negative 5x, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to add 5x on both sides. All right. Okay. So Cherry, I'm not sure if you said something beforehand. We can't divide the 3 yet. We got to isolate it. We got to isolate this 3y first before we do any division. So now we have our 3y is equal to, let's keep it in that slope-intercept form, so positive 5x minus 30. Okay, keeping the signage. So that plus 5, that's a positive 5. Okay, then we have our minus 30. Now, Cherry, this is when we divide everything by 3. All right, because Boo Thing was acting up, dancing on tables. Like, oh my God. There's something seriously wrong with me for all these things. And the weird thing is, a lot of these scenarios that I share with you, yeah, I actually experienced in my life. You know, that one friend that you're like, no, I'm not going to do anything tonight. I'm not going to drink tonight. This is just us chilling. Next thing you know, woo! On the tables. Girl, get down. Girl, you are 48 with 3 kids. Get your ass down. About to break something. All right. We're solving for y, then we solve for x. Yep, so we're just solving for y. We're going to put that in the slope-intercept form. Not minus 30. Okay. I just can't keep up with the numbers 1 minute. They're still, the next they're all over the place. Okay. You all right, Jerry? Okay. You know to divide everything by 3 and not only each side by 3. Well, you always, because if you're dividing each side, you're dividing everything. So that's why I do it individually, so I won't forget to divide something. Okay. What is your question? Know why? I didn't say. Okay. All right. I'm so sorry. I was like, what's wrong? Okay. No problem. All right. So now we have 5x over 3. So that means it's going to be, we're going to keep it. That's my slope. Okay. The number that is the coefficient of the x, that's my slope. So keep it as a fraction. Whereas the negative 30 over 3, that will give me my minus 10. So to go from standard form to slope-intercept form, you're just solving the equation for y. And you're doing the opposite or the inverse operations in order to do that. Okay. What's the Pythagorean theorem of a trapezoid? Of a rectangle? So you already answered your question. First of all, trapezoid, rectangle. Okay. Please let you know soon. Well, Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And if you have a right triangle, have fun. Make your diagonal. But how can you have a rectangle and a trapezoid at the same time? Okay, So how can you have a rectangle and a trapezoid at the same time? Okay. Well, that's fun. Well, I responded to you. Here we go. All right, let's try one more. Let's see. Okay, let's try this one. So x minus 2y equals 2. There we go. Aww. You found your new favorite streamer. Oh, Baby Yoda. That's cute. I love how you say I'm a liar. And the funny part is, you're sharing the live. You're sweet. Oh, goodness. It's hilarious. So, anywho. So, no worries, blessed. We got this. I got you. Bundles of blessings. Girl, I got you. It just cracks me up. All right. Oh, you passed your college algebra class. Good job. Oh, celebrations, guys. Let's do this. I know. He just needs his milk. It's okay. I appreciate you guys for fighting for me, but it just cracks me up. Congratulations. That's fine. Okay. Retaking your calc class this summer after all. All right. Now, here's my thing. If there's stuff, again, there's a lot of stuff in calc that I do not know. But I know people that can assist you. Don't wait until you get way down the bottom and then you're like, I got to crawl myself out. Okay? At least you got someone that could get the assistance that you need. All right? So just reach out if you need so. Okay? All right. All right. So this one's throwing you off. Let's see. Okay. So we're trying, no problem. We're trying to find, so Hitch, hey Hitch, is saying 1/2 x minus 1. Okay. And Liz, is it Liz? Liz agreeing with Hitch. Okay, so we're taking a look. We're solving for y. Right now, the 2, that's the coefficient of that y, is attached to this negative. So it's really a negative 2 with the y. So now, what do we need to get negative 2y by itself? What do we need to do? Okay. Okay, so we need to minus the x. Good. Yeah, not yet with the division. We need to isolate it. Okay, remember, this is you and your boo. You don't want anybody involved. So we need to get everybody away. Think of life lessons, right? Everybody, that little friend, that little girlfriend, that little boyfriend, that's like, girl, he ain't that good for you. You should leave that alone. Look, you got to figure it out for yourself. You got to listen to yourself. So you got to block out other people. Okay, so now it's just you and your boo. So negative 2y is going to equal. Now, on the opposite side, they're not mingling. Okay, you ever have a person that you're just sitting there minding your own business and all of a sudden they just want to chit chat with you and complain about their life and you're like, all I want to do is just take this bus, or all I want to do is just do my work. And this person's just in there chatting. Yeah, that's what's going on right here. So this 2 and this x, they're just, chit chat. So now your boo is acting up. We need to get rid of the boo, right? So now we got to get them completely away from you, as Michael will say, let's divorce them. All right? Got to get them, divide them. Divide them out of your life. Okay? Because -2 divided by -2 gives me a 1, but they left me with a y. Okay? So here, -2 divided by -1. A -2 gives me a -1. A negative divided by a negative. That will give me a positive. And you're probably saying, what's this x over 2 then, Audrey? Well, x over 2 can also be written, and I'm going to put it in our slope-intercept form, which is my y equals x over 2 is the same as saying 1/2 of 2, okay, minus the 1, okay? So anytime you see a variable over top of a number, there's assumed that there is a 1 in front of your variable. So this is the same as saying 1/2 of x. All right. Pimpin', why you sad? What's wrong? I just looked up and I see a sad face. How did I get here? I don't know, but I'm glad you're here. You can always stay. It's perfectly fine. All right, makes sense. Good. Mind blown. All right. Oh my goodness. It is true. Like sometimes you probably just liked like maybe one math video and now you're in that algorithm. How did it end up here? It was me. I saw your names and I dragged you in here. It's almost like, walking by a classroom and the teacher just grabs you and drags you into the classroom and say, I'm going to teach you. Start elementary statistics in 2 weeks. Will you? I will be here. Statistics is not my jam, though. I'm going to be truthful. Again, like calc and statistics, I mean, we're okay, but we're not going to, visit each other's homes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might just see you and I'll say hi, but that's it. Like, I'm not going into no deep conversations. But if you ever get stuck, again, I got a guy that can break all that down. All right. Okay. Okay. And this is algebra. Okay. We never question it. I know. It is kind of like the logic behind it. Well, one is to figure out your steepness. It could be like if you're out doing, I don't know, gardening, or maybe you're into, what is it? Oh, all of a sudden I cannot remember. Indiana Jones, was it? What's it called? Archaeologist. There you go. So if you need to like calculate your distance, you need to calculate your gradient. But again, I don't know what you want to do with your life. You might be like, you know what? How is this helping me with my rap career? I mean, it's just kind of like, all right, well, look at ticket sales. That's one thing. So like if you got an arena that you have to pay so much and you want all that, so how much do you need to sell those tickets for? And remember, there's like, close to the stage, that's a certain price. That should be more. In the middle, that's a certain price. Up in the rafters, that's a certain price. All the way in the back where you can't see anything, that's a certain price. And it's kind of like, all right, how much do you need to sell in order to, one, make a profit? That's equation of the line. That also is system of equations, which is basically two equations at once, two or more actually. And then each of those, like say the floor seats, middle, and rafters, that's going to represent three unknowns. So kind of like that. But here's my thing. I don't know what you want to do with your life. But if it involves doing anything, there's going to be an app for it. So I'd rather you say, oh, I've seen this before versus what the hell is this? And then you're like, you have no idea what's going on. And then people are treating you some type of way. So I want you at least try to keep your power by trying. See how it is. You dropped it 3 times already. This is it. Okay. Rap career. I know. I try. I don't know. I don't know what everybody wants to do. Look, I'm not here to stop anybody. If someone slaps me, twice the app. All right. Okay, we never question it. But at the same time, it helps build up your brain power. Oh, here we go with the puzzle piece. All right. Whew. I don't know why that stresses me out, but it really does. Okay. So, all right. Love you too. All kinds of fun over here. All right. Let's do one more. Okay. We're going to end up on a good note. So let's try this one. I'm going to put it right next to this. And we have negative 7x plus 6y is equal to 21. Okay, so I'm going to leave you alone with this one. So try to find the equation of the line, aka solve for y. And if you think you got it, go ahead and put it in the chat. Wait, okay, gotcha. All right. Okay, embrace the fractions. It's okay, embrace it. I feel like SMR. Cracking myself up. Okay. What is x? We're not solving for x, we're solving for y. So I know you're just coming in, so we're trying to find the equation of the line. I know you're trying to break up the monotony. I appreciate it. Okay. No worries, no worries. Give it a try. While we're here, give it a try. Try to solve for y. Okay, so can you simplify it? Okay, no problem. No problem. I appreciate that you're here and that you're trying. That's the whole best of it. Okay, when was the last time that you actually had to solve an equation? It's been forever, right? 20 years ago? Yes. 22 minutes ago. Oh, Michael. Okay. Other one is right. Oh, wait. Okay. Divide right side. Just the right side by 6? Divide everything by 6. Yep, both sides. Mm-hmm. Okay. For some reason, I'm not seeing all. C4. I was just thinking about you. I was like, I haven't seen C4 yet. Oh. How are you? Okay, so we have 7 halves. All right, KU. Simplify by the same number. Yes, you want to simplify by the same number. Mm-hmm. No problem. Okay, baby. Were you here the whole time? So I just skipped you. I'm so sorry. Okay, so baby, I didn't see your answer. I think it's getting to that point in the night that it's not me, because I'm sitting here looking right at all this stuff. Okay. Did you see my? No, I didn't see yours either, other than the hysterics. Since I did this, it's 78. Well, that's all right. What are we doing? I'm in timeout. Uh-oh. So we're basically solving. We're going from standard form to slope-intercept form, aka we're solving for y. Okay? Yeah, tornado, I don't see your answers. That's why it's not, because if I see an answer, I'm going to respond to it. And I think yours was the first, was yours the first one with the 1/3? No, that was Hitch. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. All right, yes, we want to put into y equals mx plus b. So now, let's see. First thing, we want to keep the y right where it is. Okay, so we got a positive 6y. If you're the y, 6 is your boo. So we need to get rid of this negative 7x. We got to do the opposite, which is going to be a positive 7x. And whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other side of the equal sign. So negative 7x plus 7x, they cancel each other out to give me 0. But we don't need the placeholder because we still have that 6y attached. So we just bring down the 6y and equals. And to keep it in slope-intercept form, I'm going to bring over that positive 7x and bring down my positive 21. Okay, good. That's my answer. Okay. So now, yes, KU, we're going to divide both sides by 6. Then we're dividing everything by 6. 6 divided by 6 gives me 1, but it's going to be 1y. Okay, so we can put the y. Remember, the 1 is understood to be there. Now we have 76x. This is going to be our slope, so this could stay as a fraction. But it's just like, who said it? That the 21 and the 6 cannot divide evenly. True. But it can be simplified. Okay? What can 21 and 6, what do they have in common? Okay, good. You guys are reading my minds. So you're right. Good. So I'm going to divide or simplify the numerator and the denominator by 3. So 21 divided by 3, again, it's going to be a positive 7. And 6 divided by 3, that's going to be 2. So you could leave it as a fraction, or it could be y equals 7/6 x plus, so it's 3.5 or 3/2. Okay, so either one of these will work. So every time you solve, my suggestion is to look at your answer choices. If you're taking the GED, ACCUPLACER, ASVAB, any of those assessments, even SAT or ACT, once you solve, take a look at your answer choices, because you can do the process of elimination. If you notice that, hey, my slope, no matter which way I wrote it out, my slope is going to be 7/6. If you look at your answer choices and there's only one of them that has 7/6 as the slope, that's your answer. Click it. Move on. Okay? Right? We all want to take these tests like we are in the classroom, and that's mistake number 1. When you take these standardized tests, they don't care about the full completion of your answer. Unfortunately, it pains me to say this, but it is true. Okay? They're just looking, did you click A, B, C, or D? Which one did you click? Okay? All right, you got the right answer. Check, keep it moving. Because no matter what, once you pass whatever test or exam, you'll be trained for whatever job that you're trying to get or whatever position that you're trying to get. They're going to train you on it. Or after a week, you probably can train other people on it, right? But you have to get past this barrier in order to get to that placement. I know, it's crazy. Welcome to America. All right. Thank you, C4. I just looked up and it says C4 shares a lives. All right. Okay. So that's what I have for this evening. Okay. Based on our little mini discussion about inequalities, I am more than willing to do inequalities. And after we do inequalities tomorrow night, if we do have time, but if not, we'll push it to the following night, we're going to talk about vertex form. Now, all the things that we do with vertex form, that might be a 2-nighter. I'm not sure. It depends on how we're doing. All the things that we do with vertex form really stems with a lot of different functions, and especially with advanced mathematics. Everything that you do with the vertex form carries over to absolute values, carries over for cubic, carries over for rational functions, carries over for the definition of a circle, it just carries over, like how you move your graph, and they call it transformation. Okay? All right. So, you actually have a test on Thursday. Okay. For what, the inequalities or something else? Okay, these are questions on the SAT. Some, yes, because they always have graphing, and especially linear, they always have linear and graphing. So you'll see some tests, it may not be as naked as this. That's what the ACT does. The ACT gives more of the naked problems to say, put it into slope-intercept form. Whereas the SATs, they'll say, okay, put it in slope-intercept form. They won't actually say it that way, but they'll have you learn to think outside the box. So SATs, there's a lot more movement than the ACTs. So that's why I always say, like, if you're not super strong with math and you still want to try to go for college, go for the ACTs. Take a look at whatever college you want to register for. See if they accept the ACTs. And if they do, take the ACTs. And then just take the SATs for fun. Okay? Because sometimes those combined scores for the ACTs is going to give you the same ride and effect as the SATs. Okay? All right. Yeah. No, I'm going to go into the quadratic again. I know. I'm jumping all over the place. I know. Yeah, lines don't have a vertex form, but I'm going to jump into quadratics because that's how I jump around. Okay. Function or non-function. Does it pass the vertical line test? Are your x's repeating? If they are, it's not a function. Okay, encore. Taking it even though I've graduated. Never taken the SAT. Okay. It's like, no, and you graduated what? High school or college? All right. So that's all I got for tonight. Going from standard to slope-intercept form. So as I mentioned, well, I haven't, but if you like the format of this book, I actually created it. Okay. This is my notebook, the Ultimate Math Notebook. So I just basically tried to keep all these notes nice and neat. Have a section where you can put your formulas, and then if you have any steps, you can write down the steps to kind of help you keep track of how to do it. You can take bits and pieces of a worksheet and tape them in. If you have double stick tape, that will work as well. But I have like the dots on one side, and then I have the grid on the other side. So in addition to all this, I have a, so I have like a factor sheet. So with the factor sheet, you can go from 1 to 200. So you can look at all the factors, which is prime, which are composite, what will give you the perfect prime combination, which is in red. Then also right here is just a whole bunch of resources that you can use, like for word problems, the rules for integers. Okay, looking at the orders of operations, we have linear and quadratic equations, the formulas. Say that looks, well, this one actually looks more familiar. Ax plus by equals c. And also this looks familiar. Y equals mx plus b. All right. I think I said vertex form. I probably meant point slope form. I'm losing it. I'm tired. All right, so we have like area. We're looking at volume and surface area with those formulas. The area of sector. We have arc length, right? Then we also have our Pythagorean theorem. We have a little bit of SOHCAHTOA action going on and some other trig identities, as well as the unit circle. So a lot of those just to kind of help, because I really try to keep 7th through 8th grade, or 7th through 8th grade, 7th through adults in mind when developing this book. If you actually like my notes, I actually have what's called Audrey's notes. So I took all of my notes that I do with my lives and I put them into a book, okay? And so they get the same exact coloring, same exact everything, but with each of them, you notice there's a QR code. Now the QR code takes you directly to the live that is connected to the information on the sheet. So you don't have to say, where does this come from? Where does that come from? All you have to do is scan the QR code and then boom, you get the live uncut, and then you just go and just look through it, and then you can walk through it step by step on how to do what you need to do. This is great for, stay at home, like homeschool parents and everything. So all 3 of the books are ready to rock and roll. I do have my new books, so it's like, let me see if I can find the link and I can put it in the chat for you. So if you do want to purchase, where's my bookstore? Here we go. Okay. Let me put this in the chat for you guys. So this is my new personal bookstore. I am self-published now. Look at there. So if you want to copy and paste that, books by Audrey Codner, you can purchase your Audrey's notes as well as the math notebook. So I have 3 different covers with the 7th through adults. And then there's one for 3rd, as I was told, 3rd through 6th grade. Which is this cover right here. All right, the reason why I say that, because they have bigger grids. Okay, so the reason why I put bigger grids, and this is on both sides, is so when they do their numbers, they can have their numbers line up. So now they got the 1s, the 10s, the 100s, and you can do more of the operations through it. Now, they also have their math resources. So very similar. I said 4th through 6th, but I'm going to change that to 3rd. So if anything, they also have the factor sheet because they do multiplication as well. And then they have the definition of a fraction. They look at the parts of it. They have the examples of it. Maybe some activities that you guys can do when you're talking about the different types or, of percentages or fractions or going to decimals. So we got the conversions there. We have fractions, operations here, as well as, zipping through so much, place values, decimal operation. It's a smaller book. Estimated rounding, long division. Trust me, guys, you're going to go back to long division. If you didn't get long division when you were younger, you need to get long division because you're going to see it again when you're dividing polynomials. So, going to have to definitely familiarize yourself with that. As well as the conversion chart. They also have the same operations and exponents, how to write examples or write equations, and then they also get the rules of integers and some brain breaks, because everyone needs a brain break where you just need to just sit down and just do something mindless, right? So yeah, these are my books. I'm waiting for my copy / Michael's copy to come on in. So if you're ever thinking about purchasing those, please do. If you want, again, you can go to my YouTube channel to get the replays of all my lives. It's definitely on there. And then in the beginning of my profile, as well as my live schedule, it's going to be on Saturdays and Sundays is 8:30 p.m., Monday through Thursdays 9:30, and on Fridays at 10. So we're doing that, and then be on the lookout because I'm working on it as we speak. As soon as I'm done with this tonight, working on having a live summer course that's going to be working on the stuff from the very beginning. That's decimal, that's fractions, that's building up positive and negative numbers, adding, subtracting, multiplying, solving 1-step, 2-step, multi-step equations, and then try to finish up, because I'm going to get there, to the line of equations and graphing, like really understanding those components. Because if you're thinking about going to back to school, or you're thinking about taking the ASVAB or the ACCUPLACER or any of that, you're going to need to have a lot of that basic concept met. Okay. Do you tutor students in all U.S. time zones? Yep, I do. I have kids. I just had a kid in Alaska today, this morning, and I have California. Some days I have Washington, Texas, whereas both Carolinas, Florida is done. Well, my seniors are done. A couple of my other kids are still there. Let's see, because they already took their EOCs. Where else am I? Ohio. Almost forgot about Ohio. Pennsylvania, Maryland, obviously Virginia. Yeah, I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. So, that's why sometimes I'll tutor, sometimes 11 to 1 o'clock in the morning. That was like the absolute latest that I tutor, because the time zones are just all kinds of cray-cray, especially on the West Coast. So if there's anyone that needs assistance, I will make room and make sure that they're okay. Okay. All right. So how do you purchase these? You can click the link in my bio. It's my acgmathtutoring.com website. And there is actually a page that says Ultimate Math Notebooks. And that will take you directly to my books by Audrey Codner. And you can go ahead and purchase your books through there. Okay. I do still have them on Amazon, but I know a lot of people are trying to venture away from Amazon as well. But it is there still on Amazon. But I really want to, self-publish as much as I can. Okay. Let's see. I think I got everyone's. Very clever. Thank you, Zach. All right. So if anyone needs a tutor, okay, I'm getting openings now because, like I said, a lot of my students are graduating. If you're currently in a college class or you're about to start a college class and you just let me prep with some stuff, let's meet, okay? I will definitely give you a discount because you guys been helping me here on TikTok. So if anything, just let me know about if you want to do tutoring. But if you want to just work by yourself and you're just I wish I had something that was on demand, but I can still ask Audrey questions here and there, I have on-demand courses because I know everyone's schedule is all over the place. So I have one for GED, the ASVAB, and also just for algebra components as well as the ACCUPLACER. So if you want to sign up for a course, you can sign up for a course, work on it. And if you have a question, you can just reach out. I already have my email there. You can reach out and then we'll figure out a date and a time that we can just small chit chat and just clear things up. And then you can keep moving through and just start learning. Okay. And you can also bring some of your questions to the lives. All right. Especially if it's something that we're currently doing. Okay. All right. Do you do group tutoring? Yes, I do. If you guys put the groups together, I will definitely do it. It's just a matter of people wanting to get it done. Sometimes I feel like people want it, but when it comes to taking that extra step of actually putting the actions to it, there's a pause. So if there's if there's a group and you're there's a group of us that will love your help, definitely DM me. Okay. Just message me, direct message me. Okay. More than willing to help and to assist. Now, there are a couple people that I would love for you guys to follow. If you're thinking about going into nursing and you need help with your doses calculations, make sure you see if you can follow a blessed RN. The way that she does it is really pretty cool. And it's not as threatening as if I was to sit here and to break down the algebraic components. She just gets right to the nitty of the gritty. That's what I like about her. And then plus she's an active nurse. So she'll be able to elaborate in certain situations as well. Now, if you need another tutor that does the TEAS tests for nursing, ASVAB, GED, make sure you see Miss Taylor on Impact Math 19. She usually goes live at 1 p.m. Central Time, like Monday through Thursday, if I recall correctly. Then we have chemistry tutor, if you're looking for one. I think a couple people were for me. Professor TK, she goes live on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I think she said she went live tonight, like around 7:30 as well. Then I have my friend Lynette. She is the powerhouse. She is basically transforming how to add, subtract, multiply, divide using the abacus. Okay. This is what we used to use way before calculators and even slide rules were invented. Okay. All right. But it's such a cool way to basically getting your numbers, doing the adding. So if you want to follow her, that'll be amazing. She has tons of books and it's like slowly growing. I feel like she has like a new book like every 2 weeks. And it's really growing. She has that on the TikTok shop, and which I'm working on TikTok shop. I think I might be able to get into it, people. I was almost denied, and then I was like, why? And then said, oh, well, we'll give you a try. Thanks. But if you have little kiddos and you're really starting to think about going homeschooling, maybe for the upcoming school year in the fall, and you're just like, I don't know where to start, what to do, you can follow my friend Nancy. She's the online elementary tutor. That's the name of her MO. And she's doing reading and also math during the summer. So if you have a little pre-K to kindergarten, or maybe even up to, I want to say up to 10 years old is what she does. Definitely check her out, ask some questions, see what she's providing, and just see if that works for you. Okay? All right. Yes, impact math is amazing. Yes. Yes. Totally agree. So, I mean, I like to, if there's other people that I see that if you're like, hey, Audrey, can you find a person that does this? I'll search for you. And if I reach out to them and I feel like they're a good egg, I will share their information. But if I feel like they're a little off, that's putting it nicely. I'm not going to push it out there because I want you to be surrounded by good people. You guys deserve to have good people in your life. Okay? All right. Okay, so that was my public service announcement times 12. And I think I'm done, and I'm nicely tongue-tied right now. But I will be here tomorrow evening. We're going to do a little bit of solving and graphing, looking at inequalities, so we can kind of even that whole thing. Like, is it a segment? Do I put a dot? Do I put an arrowhead? So we'll talk more about that. And then I'm going to be doing point slope. That's what I'm going to be doing, not vertex form. I'm going to be doing point slope before I go into quadratics, right? Okay. All right. Thank you. Oh, thank you. All right. So have a good night. But if you have any questions that just pops up in your head before you pass out, please go ahead and DM me. I'll probably get it in the morning. And then I'll message you back. All righty. All right. Have a great night. Thank you. Nighty night. Leanne, hey. Some people in your house. Yes. Oh, well, thank you, Leanne. How's things with you? It's been a minute. I was like, you're probably super, super busy right now just trying to wrap everything up. I was just about to end Leanne, so I'm like, you're probably like, I'm trying to type, Audrey. I know that's the only thing about these lives. That's kind of, it was over 3 over here tonight. Wow. Oh, that guy. Oh, wow. Huh. So this is what happens. I just get so tunnel vision, and I hardly ever see it. Took a step back in math, but I need to get back to it. Okay. Yeah, definitely. And I know the summer's coming. I'm not sure if you're taking anything in the summer. Okay. All right. Yeah, because I'm thinking about, well, I'm not thinking about, I'm actually putting together a live session, teaching all the way from the very beginning, like adding, subtract, well, I'm probably not adding, subtracting, but adding, subtracting fractions, decimals, looking at converting in percents and all that stuff. So that's what I'm going to be doing soon. But I'm going to start promoting it so we can get it started. All right. Okay. All right, everyone. I'm going to shut her down, and you guys have an amazing day. Now it's like 204 people in here. Hey. Just about to do it. So I'll be live again tomorrow night. We're going to be talking about inequalities at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday and Thursdays. All right, have a good night and take care. Bye now.